We're good. Did you turn your phones on the airplane mode?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I'm really good at pressing that airplane mode button now. That would have flown twice here in the past 6 weeks.
Yeah, let's get into that. But first, welcome back to another episode of the Heavily Spiced Podcast. I'm your host, Jet, and with me today for a great episode is my friend Noah.
Hi.
And my friend Chili Cole.
Hey.
Wow. Long time coming. Time coming. We're back again in Dean's basement, and it just feels so right. And I wanted to start off by saying, if you haven't noticed, we're dressed in very proper attire. Because today we attended Daniel's wedding, which was just beautiful, honestly. Did you boys cry at all?
I got a little emotional at the rehearsal dinner last night.
Did you really?
Yeah, a little bit. They had like a slideshow. It was a little, not like I wasn't crying, but it's kind of nostalgic. It was like a lot of older photos of like Daniel and stuff, and there was a couple with us and him and stuff, and that was the most emotional I got about the whole thing.
Dang. Cole, did you get emotional at all? Well, you weren't there. Noah was actually in the wedding.
Yeah.
He was actually a part of the wedding.
Right.
Cole and I just came in and
Mm-hmm.
at the last second.
Crashed the whole thing. We didn't come in at the last second. Or anything.
Well, one of our friends did.
Oh,
but we'll
okay.
leave that for another day. No, it was great. If you're not familiar with Daniel, he's been with the channel for a long time. He was in episode 12. He's a good boy, and congratulations to him and Allison. So I think we want to talk about the wedding, though, right?
Yeah, let's
Just
do
jump into it.
Yeah.
I felt like a lot of the times I find myself becoming more emotional now as I get older, especially with my father passing and stuff. So, like, I think when he was talking, something about dads crying a lot really gets to me now, too, especially when I watch movies. Not his dad didn't cry or anything. No dads cried. But when I'm watching movies and stuff, I find it more emotional when I'm seeing more, like, the guys being emotional. And I'm like, oh, man. I find it so cheesy, though, too. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know, just seeing myself and having that emotional connection with something. And I think I felt that towards the wedding, too. I don't know, young love and stuff.
Yeah, I 100% agree. When men sometimes get emotional, yeah, I could see
It's
that.
more, I don't know.
Well,
Just-
I think also like I don't know, especially because men are supposed to be tougher. I don't know, so sometimes it's like kind of rare for that to happen. So when it is, it can trigger it off. I feel like in other guys a little bit. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cole, what
sign
are you
sign of
laughing?
weakness, you know.
Okay.
I'm kidding. No, I cry all the time. I think I probably cry the most, like in our friend group. Honestly,
We've been through this multiple times.
I don't know if because I think probably you've seen me.
Yes.
I think you've seen me cry. I don't know how many. Maybe Vincent,
What?
but
I've seen
like
you the most
cry,
crying?
like
Oh,
cry,
the most, yeah.
like emotional.
Well,
in
Cole,
an emotional state
Cole, we've known each other for how long now?
since high school.
So how many years is that?
God,
What do you say?
At least.
Hold on.
That's at least 10, definitely. Because, but I knew you guys even before I graduated, so probably 11. Because, yeah, me and you hung out even before I graduated.
Yeah, I think, I've known you since
Since I was
7th or
in-
8th grade, so it's like
Yeah.
2007, 2008.
Yeah.
That's the great thing about I graduated in 2012. Well, so did you.
Yeah, I'm 12.
We were 2012, so every
Yeah.
time I think back to the grade that I'm in, it's always just the same exact year. But no, we've known you for 4 or 5 years now, right?
Oh man, I feel like even longer than that.
Longer
honestly.
than that, dude. I think we met these guys probably.
2013?
I
So,
feel
8
like
years?
it might have been like
Jeez.
it might have even been when we were in our senior year.
Yeah, it was before they graduated, I'm pretty sure.
I think so. I feel like I remember hearing about the Conyers guys.
Oh,
when I was in high
yeah.
school in like 11th or 12th grade.
Yeah.
I think like
Con-
It was
Nate.
through Nate.
Conyers gang.
Through Nate.
Yeah,
It
through
all
Nate.
through Nate.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
yet to be on the podcast. Maybe one day. But yeah, I think, Cole, you're probably the most emotional
Yeah.
out of all of us.
I would agree. That's for sure.
It's not a bad
I don't
thing.
think, and I don't think it is, and that's why. What you brought up, I agree completely. I like to feel, I don't know, like if I'm watching a movie or something,
Yeah.
I try to put myself in like the shoes of like the characters or whatever. And so when
Yeah.
you say, you see these like males crying or whatever, it's like,
I think of
of course I'm gonna
Logan.
understand.
I think Logan's probably the most emotional I've gotten ever seeing a movie.
Really,
You
Watching
seen
the-
Logan? The
Yeah, that's
Marvel
actually
It's
movie?
good.
my
yeah.
favorite Wolverine
Yes.
movie. It's
Oh,
really
I,
good.
without
yeah,
a
I
doubt,
think it's
yeah.
the best superhero
Yeah.
movie.
Definitely.
Top tier.
Yeah.
I'd put that. I found when I watched that, I was like, this is. I grew up watching a lot of westerns,
Mhm.
and I watched that, and I was like, this is just something
Mhm.
that is. I've never seen something like this before.
Right,
It's done in like a superhero movie.
Yeah. I mean, did either of you watch like Marriage Story?
Oh, with Adam Driver.
Adam Driver and
I haven't.
Dude, I watched that 3 times.
We've been through this before.
Yeah.
Like, Adam Driver.
Yeah,
Is
because
the
I
man.
like Adam Driver.
Yeah.
But I mean that movie, and I think I was able to hold it together one time watching it, but the other 2 times, like I cried throughout that movie like probably 3 times.
The last
Really?
movie I
Yeah.
cried in was 310 to Yuma. I remember crying that the
That's
first
a-
time I
yeah.
saw that. I definitely cried
Yeah.
at one scene.
Is that the most emotional you've ever gotten towards a movie?
I feel like I've done it a few
Mhm.
other times with like especially with guys. I definitely get it more with guys. When the dads like are trying to like fight for something and stand up for something, like make a stand.
Like
that
family
that speaks
stuff,
to
like
me.
father-son stuff.
Yeah, and
tends to
even
hit me.
even I
bit.
mean
Yeah.
I remember even getting emotional just simple dad son stuff like Pursuit of Happiness.
Mhm.
It's like my favorite Will Smith movie.
Yeah.
Probably.
See, this is the thing is I don't watch a lot of films. I don't
Yeah.
watch a lot of movies. So also there's Ren moving
Yeah.
around here. Very distracting.
Oh yeah,
Dean?
Jamie.
Janie? No, when I watch I don't watch a lot of films at all. So I feel like in this past year during quarantine,
Mhm.
I've been trying to play catch up the most.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
You know, just trying to watch all these films that I should have watched 10 years ago. And I just feel like I'm slowly catching up. So I will eventually watch Marriage Story because I know it's fucking good.
Yeah. Well, I mean
Um,
so
Speaking of marriage,
speaking of, yeah, so kind of going back to Daniel's marriage today. I mean, for me, I don't know. I just because we've known each other for so long, I was really happy for him. I just felt proud. I didn't tear up. Like there's been weddings I've gone to where I've teared up a little bit, but for Daniel, I just felt just really happy, just kind of proud. Like I said,
it's kind of weird too seeing something that's
Yeah.
so what's the word? Something that's so monumental in
Mhm.
someone's life of just being like, oh yeah, this is something you send somebody off towards.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
yeah,
Did you feel that way? Okay, Noah, you've been married
Yeah.
for how many years?
2 now almost. Well, I mean 2 in October. Yeah.
Mhm.
So basically 1.5, 2.
Yeah, it was definitely a weird feeling for sure. I mean, especially because I felt like, with our original friend group is me, Brandon, Daniel, and Dean. So it's like everybody's kind of moving on to that phase of life, kind of thing, and it's super bittersweet for sure.
Yeah.
Where you're moving on to that being marriage being a much larger priority and maybe kids and stuff like that.
right.
And some of the just hanging out stuff, those kind of things going away.
They fade.
Yeah.
That's the sad thing. I think that's why. Okay, before we continue on, I'm gonna move this dog out here.
Yeah,
Real
we got to
quick.
do something about this.
Give me 1 sec, people.
Should we talk about really good stuff since he's not
yeah,
here?
maybe talk about
Maybe talk about that sword ceremony.
Oh yeah.
That hit pretty
I
hard.
like yeah, Dean drug us out there, and yeah, I felt like we weren't supposed to be a part of that. I mean, not like that, you know what I mean?
No, I know what
But,
you mean.
Do you think Daniel will care if we talk about it?
No, I don't think he will.
I don't think so.
Okay.
And I don't think anybody.
So
I don't think
yeah.
anybody was upset that we were
So-
over there.
Set up for you.
Yeah.
There was this ceremony going on that they were doing, and it was a private. It was kind of like a private thing between Daniel and his family. He's a part of a group or something where they give off a sword. The sword was cool. I actually really enjoyed looking at the sword.
It's cool, and
Yeah.
the whole message they have behind it and everything.
Yeah.
So cool.
It was
we don't
cool.
have to get into all that, but
We're
it's
not.
yeah,
We don't have to. Well, we decided that we were going to go outside. Dean
Mhm.
wanted to vape.
Yeah.
So we were going outside to go vape and stand outside for a bit, and then we kind of walked out, and then they were just in the middle of this ceremony, so they
Yeah.
kind of just called us over and were like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, you guys can join in too." We're just kind of like, "Okay,
Yeah.
okay, cool." So we were kind of just there, being like, "I don't know what to do," sort of thing, watching them hand over the sword or whatever.
Right.
But it was nice.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cool.
And I mean, honestly, everybody in the circle was I mean, like I said, I felt like nobody was upset that we were over there or anything.
There's no one being like, "Why are you guys
Yeah.
here?" Because it definitely could have gone that way of being
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
I mean,
We
they
just wanna
definitely
vape.
kind of extended it to, family and friends kind of thing. Just kind of be the best you can be a good example to all those around you.
Yeah, no, the sword was cool.
So
So I just want to talk more about marriage, really. Thanks, Dean.
Thank
Thanks,
you, Dean.
Dean. Thanks, Vincent. I want to talk more about marriage, though, because I'm very interested. I'm not married. I don't plan on getting married. Cole plans on getting married. I don't plan on getting married.
Yeah. I don't know.
No? What do you think? I mean,
Got any specific questions? I don't know.
I don't know. It just doesn't feel like. How did you know?
How did I know? Like,
I mean,
that she
I
was
feel-
the one or something?
No, I just feel like, how did you get to such a big step in someone's life? So how do you get to the point where you're just like, yeah, I just want to do this?
Ugh.
Is it a moment of just it feels right, or is it a moment of just like?
I mean,
Because I don't want to say it's one of those things where you're like, this is what I have to do, because I feel like I'll get to that point where I'm like, hey, I'm 27 years old and I need to be married at this point,
yeah.
so I'm gonna rush into this.
No, I definitely don't think it's something you should rush into. We did the opposite, I feel like. I feel like we dated for 7 years. I felt like that was way too long. Like, if I could go back and do it again, we would have just gotten married sooner, probably. Like, even though I feel like there's a lot of, like, ideas out there that, like, you shouldn't get married while you're in college or before you have a steady job kind of thing, which, I mean,
Yeah.
there's pros and cons of that. And I get people wanting to wait till, like, they both have a steady job or something before they get married. But if I go back doing it again, we'd get married sooner. But no, I didn't feel like, oh, I'm 25 and she's 23 or whatever it was. It's time now. Trying to think of how I knew like it was the right time. I mean, a big part of it was that I was like, okay, I have a full-time job now, so now is a good time for me to step forward. And
But you
ask
feel
her
like
and
you
stuff.
waited too long.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
So if you had gone back, you would have gone earlier.
Yeah, definitely. I think.
Did you live together beforehand though? I'm
No-
actually not sure. I have no idea.
No, we didn't.
They were in separate.
Yeah, I mean, she like in Statesboro, she had her own apartment and stuff
Yeah.
like that when we were at Georgia Southern and stuff.
So what's it like just to finally? Because for me, I would move in with someone and
Yeah.
live there for a couple years, and then decide on there.
Yeah.
And when I moved in with people, it's completely different. I mean, was that struggle like something that was?
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it's definitely a struggle for sure, where you're having to work around each other and stuff like that, and like be flexible and stuff like that, and like learn what she likes and doesn't like, and what gets on her nerves and stuff like that, and try not to test her and stuff like that, and vice versa, for sure.
I don't know. It just seems weird, like for a relationship, just to be around someone constantly, 100% of the time.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's times where you
just
gotta
get tired of each other.
you gotta have your space,
Yeah.
100% for sure. Like I like fishing a lot, so a lot of times I'll go like fish by myself or something, and that'll be my time to get away and just do my own thing, It's very. I feel like I'm talking a lot.
No,
You wanna
you're good.
Jump
No,
in or anything?
I feel like talking about how you feel like if you could go back, you would kind of do it sooner. I feel like I don't know. It's definitely you want to feel stable at the same time too, though.
Yeah.
But some people might think that all that extra added stress, school, not having a full-time job or something like. I mean, was that the kind of position y'all were in at the time?
Yes.
Also?
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, like if you're kind of with the person that you're gonna be with, like if she's the one or whatever, sharing that burden with each other, I can kind of see where you're coming from.
Do you think there's one? Do you think there's like one soulmate for one person?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Cole, what do you think?
I'd agree with that, man. I'm not.
You think there's one
yeah,
person for everybody and that's it?
I think so. Yeah, I believe in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know. I mean, I answer yes, but there's a big part of me that's like, I feel like that's just a lot of movies and stuff have impacted me to have that opinion. You know what I mean?
That's another thing too about what I was trying to say about watching Daniel get married. Is it's
Mhm.
almost something that doesn't seem. It's like when you watch a car wreck.
Yeah.
It's like doesn't seem real. Doesn't seem like it's actually happening.
Yeah.
Not that his marriage, Anyways, I felt like when we were watching something like that, it doesn't seem like I have to remind myself, oh, hey, shit, this is actually happening. You know what I mean? And maybe you felt that way toward your wedding day.
It definitely felt like surreal. I don't know. I feel
Because
kind
you
of
just build up something
using
for
that word,
so
but yeah.
long.
Yeah.
And then when it's finally here, how
Yeah.
nervous were you?
Oh, super nervous. Like, I was even nervous today for him, but like my actual day, like I was so nervous. Like, it's just so many things. I was scared I was gonna like just forget stuff, and all sorts of stuff.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
I had like nightmares that I like forgot my tux, like made it to the venue and all that. Like that happened. I went through that for like a couple weeks beforehand, before the actual wedding. I was so
Golly. But
Um,
then you bought a house, right?
no.
Oh, really? I thought you moved out.
We live out west in Utah, but we just have an apartment.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you were purchasing houses.
No. We're
My bad.
We're I mean, I'd like to buy a house, but it's crazy expensive right now for sure. Even
Yeah.
here, we were
Yeah,
just talking
that's
about
what-
that. He's been looking at houses.
We were
and,
talking about that.
and he said even
the-
here it's nuts.
Yeah, I mean
crazy
the
expensive.
housing market. It's not. It's a seller's market right now. So
Is it because of COVID?
there's a lot of different things you could say it's because of.
Yeah.
I would say that kind of us getting ready to come out of COVID probably has a big deal to do with it.
Yeah, I think there's like a bunch of factors. I think from
But
like
there's also,
yeah.
I mean,
I don't know how.
because you can look at it from, like you were saying earlier, and I'll
Yeah.
let you describe. I mean, because like liberal and a Republican kind of viewpoint on it.
Yeah, I think from like a.
Oh yeah, let's get politics
Yeah.
involved, bruh.
I mean, from like a housing thing.
Yeah.
I think for one on the right side of the aisle, the conservative side of the aisle, the federal government is doing this thing right now that I was reading about, and it's like they're making it where, long story short, they're making it easier for people who should be foreclosed on and they can't afford a house. They're making it to where it's harder for banks, or they're giving people subsidized money basically, so they're more likely to stay in their house. So it constricts the supply of houses, right? Whereas normal churn would be like, if I buy a house I super can't afford and I shouldn't have bought it, then I'm going to lose the house and then it'll go back on the market, for you to buy or Cole to buy, So that's like
God.
that's like a free market thing.
Yeah.
That's
the
just
right
the
wing.
that's just the right wing side. You said.
Yeah,
right?
I would say the left wing side of me is like, and some of the stuff I've read is like there's like just a bunch of big time investors that are buying up properties and just using them for like Airbnbs and stuff, or just like even where we live. Sometimes there was like 2 houses that have sold on streets
Hell
like 2
yeah.
over from us, and they both bought and sold since we've lived there, and nobody's moved in. And so there's a part of you that's like, I don't know how I think about that. I mean, I'm not saying it's like
Yeah,
super
so-
wrong, but it's like it just feels like some people own like a lot of property and just other people want to enter the market. And if you
Yeah.
constrict the supply enough, it can be bad that way. So maybe people shouldn't be allowed to own that many houses if they don't live in them or something. I don't know. It's just tough when you're trying to buy and
Yeah, because I was
the
reading like
supply is bad.
rich folk would purchase homes in areas that people want, and then just Airbnb them. Is that what you're saying?
Which I mean, I'm
that
not saying
seems
that's.
so shitty though.
I'm not saying it's. I mean, people can do whatever they want and make money however they want, but I just think there should maybe be like some type of progressive taxes where once you get into like maybe like the 10 to 20 property range, 50, 100, like some pretty hardcore taxes should hit you to where it's
owning that many homes.
Yeah.
You're saying
like it should be
50 to 100.
yeah. There's definitely, I mean, not just individuals, but like companies too that own that kind of property. Like,
Really?
I don't know.
I mean,
I
it
mean,
makes sense.
I mean, we need a good renters market as well. So I mean, if you have people who like buy and maintain the homes, and then people who just like if I just want to rent my whole life, like I think I remember I watched an episode with you and Sam, and y'all were like, we just want to rent. We don't really want to ever buy a house. Or I think one of y'all said that. So if you got a lot of people like that, then yeah, you want people to invest. And
Yeah.
if people want to own a lot of property and they deal with all the headaches, because I mean, I know home buying isn't a picnic. You got to invest in it and you've got to maintain it, and stuff breaks and crap like that. So I get that there's factors of all different kinds of things, but if there's just a bunch of houses sitting empty, at worst, at best, maybe they're being used for Airbnbs every now and then. Because like I said, I've already found 2 that are like 2 streets over from us, and like they've both been bought, and and they've been sitting there for like 2 months now, and nobody's coming and going. So you're just like, what they're doing, I guess, is just sitting on the house, and then just a year from now it'll appreciate a lot in value, and then they'll just sell it again, I guess, is all I can figure.
What are like the ages of these houses that? Cause I mean, you guys have kind of looked around
Yeah.
in Utah. Like, what are the?
These two I'm talking about are pretty old, but I mean,
Yeah.
old is kind of in right now, like vintage and
I mean,
stuff.
that's
or whatever.
true, but like the biggest thing for me is because like the houses that I've been looking at, a lot of these are from like 75, 80s, and they're. Yeah, I mean, you could tell they already have like their problems. You know what I mean? Like you said, so being a homeowner, I mean, you're gonna constantly having to put in work into your home, right? But they're asking, like 20 over $250,000. I mean, it's not worth putting that much money into the house. I mean, you're gonna be spending a ton
Just
on-
renovating.
Yeah, renovating. So
And filling it. I feel like I don't have enough crap to put in the fucking house. You know what I mean?
You do have to buy
that's
a
the
lot
big
of
thing.
stuff.
I definitely, I was about to say. I mean, I got a couch, a bed, some stuff in my room to put into it. But other than that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be empty.
You've been looking at houses like around here?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah.
I don't want to say exactly. I don't know if.
Conyers.
Oh, man, Conyers
Yeah.
all the way.
we
buddy.
can name drop Conyers.
Okay, cool.
I'll be
That's
in
cool.
Conyers the rest of my life. Never leaving.
Cole has definitely said since the very beginning he's never leaving Conyers, Georgia.
Never. And if my friends ever leave, I will never forgive them.
That's you, Noah. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
You left us.
I never lived in Conyers, so I didn't really
That
leave.
is true. He didn't leave us.
More McDonough boy.
Yeah.
We'll come back. There's
Yeah,
plenty of
come back.
houses.
Yeah.
Here's what we need to do.
It is
But just,
cheaper
you know,
here.
just
It's definitely
put-
cheaper here.
put-
yeah.
Put 20 more down on it.
This is what we need to do, okay? We just need to get a bunch of people together.
Let's hear it.
Are we listening?
Yeah, I'm
Everyone out
listening.
there, look at your phone. Pull it up right now.
Vincent will probably jump in the podcast right now just because you're saying this.
You're going to slither in here.
Yeah.
He's over there.
Yeah.
We all need to get together,
Mm-hmm.
and we just need to purchase a house,
Giant old house.
and we just need to just pay the rent ourselves. Why are we splitting up couples? Why are we doing that?
I mean, well, we lived with my mom for like 6 months last year to try and save money. So I mean, I get like wanting to live with less people. and
Brandon
stuff.
shaking said yes, yeah.
Brandon and Sheridan would probably do it, honestly.
Yeah, they were
Well,
doing it, but I think
yeah.
they're not doing as much anymore. I don't,
Well, that's because everybody else is moving out, I think.
oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
We got it all ass backwards here. We don't all need our own property.
But
we
he's-
all just need
but-
to share the property.
But they had a lot of roommates.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well, the shitty thing
It's
is,
the right
though,
idea.
too, is like, let's say we all get a house and then put it in Noah's name. Doesn't Noah get all the credit and the benefits from paying off the house?
yeah, but I think you can like joint own stuff. You know,
It's a bad idea.
even like with a marriage, like
But-
if you buy a house, right, and it's on the
Yeah.
it's in the husband and wife's name. Like I mean, I don't know how it all works out, but if they got a divorce, they'd probably sell the house and
Yeah.
split up the sale price.
So if we get a divorce,
yes,
If we got a divorce, it'd be it'd be terrible.
I don't know what do we do.
Me and Jed almost went through a divorce already.
it's actually
Yeah,
it's like it may be a good idea for a movie, but I don't know about in real life.
good
like-
vlog.
It'd be
bunch
a
of-
good vlog.
I mean, if you went in with like a bunch of like
Yeah.
serious people or serious investors, then yeah, I mean,
What-
people do that all the time.
What makes you think we're not serious?
Yeah,
I'm not saying you aren't. I'm not saying I am.
you're
I'm
pointing.
me too.
Hey,
You're
watch it,
pointing a lot
Utah
of
boy.
fingers at us, man. Coming from Utah, telling us how to buy our houses.
You think you know what it's like being a Georgian
Yeah.
around here, buddy? Oh,
He just
man.
moved to Utah. Like,
Yeah. How long have you been in Utah?
It's 4 months, 3 months.
yeah, I was about to say, yeah,
Just-
literally just moved there.
God, do you like it better than Georgia?
Yeah, definitely for sure.
Why? Is it the nature?
Yeah. Oh man,
Lame.
got the eye roll.
Yeah, Georgia sucks.
Lame.
though,
That's
honestly.
why I
I
like
don't-
Georgia does.
But I
suck.
love it.
I mean, there's some things I miss though. I mean, but I like it's not just the nature too. It's the access to like more of the parks and stuff. But that's under the umbrella of nature too, I guess. I don't
For
know.
Utah, you're saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. But Georgia, what about the food? That's what I'm most interested in. Is the food out there?
Food. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, they've got like your typical chain restaurants, but they've got like local places. We're getting kind of bougier a little bit with food. Like we go to a lot of
Do you
like
want-
local restaurants and stuff.
Do you want
now,
to say
so-
where in Utah?
Yeah, we're in Salt Lake. We're in the main
Okay.
city, so the largest city there.
Wow. And you
Oh.
flew down here though, right?
Yeah, we flew here.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that like a densely populated city?
Yeah, I mean it's probably like half the size of Atlanta, maybe even a
Okay.
third. It's pretty
Yeah.
small compared to Atlanta for sure.
But you like it
Um,
better than Atlanta?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, I liked Atlanta. We lived there for like a little under like 6 or 8 months when we first got married. We lived in Atlanta and I
Yeah.
liked it. I just think for a city as big as Atlanta, I could see like doing the city life and like doing a condo and like not having to like have a car and stuff or whatever. But like to do that in Atlanta, it's so expensive. But if you find a smaller city, you could like afford to live in the city, find you a
Yeah.
place for under like 300,000 or a rent that's affordable, and then you could do the city life for cheaper. But Atlanta's so expensive.
Yeah. I assume you moved out there because you got a job or something.
Yeah. I mean, we liked Colorado as where we were interested in, but it's even more expensive there. So we were like, I already knew in the back of my mind, like, if we're gonna make it out west long term, we got to be able to afford a house, right?
Yeah.
And I knew we couldn't do that for Colorado, so I was like, well, we'll do Utah, and then we can maybe buy a house out there and stay out there long term, you know.
You see yourself living there the rest of your life?
The rest of my life, probably not. I can't imagine living anywhere in one place for the rest of my life. Like sometimes I'll like there'll be like older people in like my family or Amanda's family, and they're like, yeah, I've been in this house for 56 years.
Jeez.
And I'm like, that's since like
That's the life.
certain things were illegal. Yeah, I mean, just like
Yeah.
you're like, this is so long ago. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's just not for me to be. I can't imagine that at all.
Being somewhere 56 years.
No.
Are you a nomad?
I was about to say.
I think I have that problem that I'm trying to
Yeah.
actually work out. I know that I have this thing in me right now. I feel like where I'm like I'm a little bit struggling with finding satisfaction and where we're going to settle down somewhere and like
it's the
plant
Sam
roots.
syndrome.
Yeah.
I don't think I have it as
Shout out to Sam.
bad as Sam.
Oh yeah, no
not to-
doubt. Nobody does.
but I have it a little bit, and I'm trying to work on it. And me and Amanda have talked about it for sure. We're gonna have to
Yeah.
find somewhere to settle down because I don't want to do that at all. Like I don't want to. There's people that I followed online, like digital nomads or whatever, that like move around a lot. I definitely don't want that. I do want to find a place where we can settle down for at least a few years and get like the community. I don't know about 56 years,
3 or 4 years.
but I mean probably like 10.
But don't you think
or
once you get
15.
to a certain age, though, it's like, yeah, fuck it. I mean, don't you want to have a family?
Yeah. We
So
want,
do you want the kids to move around a lot too?
I mean, maybe not a lot, but I mean, there's a lot of people who move around a good bit. Like, I mean, the military is like a huge part of our country, and like all their kids move around a ton. Like
Yeah.
you think about that. And I kind of would like them to be able to experience like other countries and stuff, for sure. If I got a job like another country or something, and we had kids.
That's actually it's funny because that's what like I was talking to you about earlier, because when my dad his old job, like when I was a lot younger, I was homeschooled when I was a kid. I think I finally started going to like real school when I was in middle school. But I traveled a lot when I was a kid. So kind of like I was telling you earlier, like just all over the United States, like even in Canada.
What?
But
Canada.
it's funny
pretty
because
cool.
like hearing you talk about like wanting to move around and stuff, and you guys know how I am now. I'm like
Oh,
way
God.
too. I'm like the polar opposite. I'm not so like saying I'm.
It's amazing.
What's
Cole's
wrong
even
with
out
me
today.
is like I could be in the same place for the rest of my life.
Everything's just
You do that.
cycles.
Here.
That's all it
Yeah.
is. Like he went through the thing I'm talking about. I want for my kids. Maybe it's to be able to experience like different
See,
places.
that's
Yeah.
what
And
I
now his kids, and now
Well,
like he's
that's
the
what I
byproduct
wonder.
of that. And he's like, I just
Yeah.
want to settle down somewhere and just
Yeah,
be there.
that's
Yeah.
what I wonder because like because I work for Delta, and we have free flights. I can fly anywhere I want to,
It's pretty cool.
and I hardly have ever used it. I've done trips to Europe and stuff. I've flown a couple other places here in America since I've worked there.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could count all those times on one hand, and I've been there for like what?
I just don't
probably
think
8
you
years
like
now?
traveling.
Where did you go in Europe again?
I
what
went to
countries?
Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and I almost made it all the way to Budapest.
So you stayed
By
in like
falling
that
asleep on the
central,
train.
central region kind of.
But yeah, I was in that central region. I do want to go back. I want to go to I do want to do like the UK. So I do want to like do the whole London thing and go to Edinburgh. I probably said that wrong for Scotland for them Scottish. You
really-
got Scottish viewers.
I really want to go to.
Yeah, we have several.
yeah.
I really want to go to
And they're
Edinburgh.
gonna hate this.
Really
yeah,
bad.
I've heard actually. Yeah, I've heard great things. I mean, and I'm
See, none of
Scottish
this.
heritage.
This doesn't
So.
really. Well, maybe because you're Scottish, but traveling in general just doesn't appeal to me.
It doesn't appeal to me that much either.
It seems like more hassle than it's worth.
Okay, so I've been telling people
It is a lot
forever.
of hassle.
I've been telling people forever. There's two different types of like
Travelers.
traveling you can do.
Okay.
You can plan for a vacation or you can plan for a trip. Vacation is going to the beach or the mountains and sitting on the beach the whole time, or kicking it back
Yeah.
in your cabin or whatever. And then there's trips, like is what I did when I went to Europe, which is like go see all the castles,
Yeah.
walk
Do all the
around,
the
do
dumb
all the-
shit. Yeah.
do all the
Touristy
travel
stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So it's, but I mean, I
agree.
I feel the
I
same
agree.
though. I think me and you are on the same page.
No,
with
I
that.
definitely agree.
I'm trying to
Which-
figure
and
out like
don't
what
get
would
me-
not be dumb shit to you though.
Well,
Like
don't-
if you went to another place, like
Yeah.
or anywhere.
Don't get me wrong. Like
I
those
don't know.
places are beautiful and it's awesome to see.
Okay.
and I love it, but at the same time, it's like
You know those?
Eh.
Okay. You know the every time
could've-
those pictures people take in front of the Eiffel Tower. No, not the Eiffel Tower. The Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Uh-huh.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Doing dumb shit like that.
Oh, there's some stuff that's like even when you
It's
get
just
more into
cringy.
traveling, a lot of it gets really cringy, and a lot of it too gets tiring. Where you're like, I just feel like I'm doing this because other people said this is what you're supposed to do, or
I know.
something,
Like, who
you
the
know?
fuck wants to see that tower?
You know, I mean, there's a lot of it
No.
that like, I mean, there's just, I mean, I don't want to get like too. I know we want to go to Europe and visit it for sure.
Yeah.
And she wants to go to France, and I really don't want to go like that much at all. But I know it's like a big thing for Paris and girls and stuff. But I really I want to go to mainly Italy and the UK. Italy because like Rome and stuff has such a massive impact on who we are and how we do things in our culture. And the UK just because like the ancestry there and stuff, you know, mainly Scotland for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think that'd be cool.
The one thing that I do want to do that I haven't is a cruise. I definitely would love
Ooh.
to do a cruise,
There's a movie I saw one
like a
time
Mediterranean cruise or something like that.
where the cruise ship crashes.
Wow.
What's that? What was it about? What's it
Spoilers.
called?
I don't know.
What happens in it?
The thing crashes.
Even before
Poseidon?
Oh yeah,
I think one of the Black Eyed Peas was in it too.
what?
You haven't seen that movie? It's
Andre
really
the,
bad.
Andre the Giant.
This sounds like just bad enough to be watchable.
Yeah, we should watch that.
You haven't seen Poseidon?
No.
Oh yeah,
It's
good.
bad. It's not good.
It's good.
What are the Black
not
The
good.
original was
Peas?
good. The
Oh, there's a
remake's
origi-
awesome.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
there's an original. I think it was like a '70s film.
Anyways, I don't know. I watched the remake when it came out and it was bad.
Mhm.
I just remember one of the Black Eyed Peas girls dies or something.
Even
I forget her
before
name.
the pandemic, cruises kind of scare me. They always made me think of like a vacation you can't escape. Like, what if you're like halfway through
Where
the cruise?
does the shit go?
If you're like halfway through the cruise and you're like, okay, I'm done with this. You're like, well, you're stuck on this boat for another 5 days, dude.
yeah,
Sorry.
and then you get seasick.
But like,
It's
if you're like, if I'm out like somewhere out west, even I could just get on a flight. I mean, that would stink to have to pay for that, but I feel like I could.
yeah,
you know.
because we took a vacation all together, PCB.
Or you could just drive somewhere and you're like, yeah, I'm ready to drive back home. But
Yeah.
I feel like I'm always scared that like I'm gonna get to some island on the cruise or something, and be
or
like,
pirates take over.
I'm done with this. Yeah, the pirate thing, maybe I guess.
You seen
Pirates
that?
are real.
I mean, they
Yeah.
are
Noah.
real. I
Yeah.
believe it. But I mean, I would think Tom Hanks
Treasure
would come and
Island?
save us,
Arg?
you know, from Captain Phillips. He'd
Yeah.
probably help us.
Tom Hanks would save
Muppet
us.
Island.
Muppet Island. Never seen that one.
No, it's a classic.
Is that
Black-
with the Muppets?
Yeah,
Oh, I love the Christmas Story
Black
Muppets
Sails.
version.
Very underrated show. Very good. You guys should watch it.
yeah. It's about pirates.
Is that like a spin-off of the Assassin's Creed?
It's the
Black Sails
prequel
thing?
of Treasure Island.
Oh,
Pretty
okay.
much.
Oh,
Sorry, yeah,
I
that
didn't know
actually
that.
kinda cool.
Yeah, it's actually really good. Yeah.
Treasure Island's pretty
yeah,
cool.
dude, it's got Long John Silver, Flint, everything.
Cool.
I'm sorry.
Very
yeah,
cool.
just
Yeah, like from Muppet Island. Anyways,
But no, what about that? So like talking about being trapped on the cruise though, that I mean, when like COVID hit, wasn't there a cruise that like they wouldn't let
Yeah.
like dock or something?
It feels like so much has happened this past year that like I forgot about that, but you're right.
I
Like
might
they
be
were just
I don't know
stuck
if I'm
somewhere.
making that up, but I
No,
feel
you
like that
are. I
was
mean, there
a-
was the big Japanese one, right? Or one that was
I
in
think
Japan,
so,
and they were
yeah.
like
I have
stuck
no
in
clue.
Japan.
yeah.
It was
I
one of
was
the
in my own world during COVID.
I remember when I was like big
Really
into
did.
like tracking the numbers and stuff, and like half of our cases were people that were stuck on that ship in like some harbor in Japan or something.
Well, we were talking about too COVID quarantine. Everyone I talked to, they said it was great.
Dude, I was about to say I'm
We
probably
talked
one of
about that,
those
too.
people that
Well,
Probably one of those
Noah's not agreeing.
that would say, "Yeah, man, COVID's great. I didn't have to do anything."
I didn't say COVID's great. I said
Yeah.
quarantine was great.
Oh yeah, quarantine. Yeah, not that
there
COVID
was
is
some
good.
good things about it, to be honest.
God bless.
I'm ready for it to be over though.
Okay, well, me too.
It's never gonna be over though. Anyways,
I wonder. I don't know.
Ooh, I want to go into that. What do you mean by that?
I think I don't want to talk about vaccines or anything. Are you vaccinated?
Yeah.
Cole?
No.
Me neither. I'm just too lazy. I'll probably do it once I get stopped being lazy,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. Look, I just feel like there's going to be more strands, and then we're going to end up having the vaccines just aren't going to work against those strands because not everyone's going to get vaccinated, and it'll just keep multiplying, and we'll never be able to defeat it.
Yeah.
That's just what I think is going to happen.
I mean, I think there's going to be different strands, yeah. And there'll be
'Cause
there'll be ones that the vaccine will protect against. Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, I think
yeah.
if people wanted to
Oh,
beat
wow.
it, we could have beat it before.
I thought. God, man,
Well, I don't
I
know.
thought
What,
we
I
were
don't.
about.
Well, I don't know what beat it means. Like, I mean, I think we've sort of the vaccines are sort of beating it, like they're helping to prevent it and stuff like that. But I think there's gonna be different versions of it that come along, just like the flu or something.
Yeah.
Like I think like the flu vaccine can help with the regular flu or
I wonder-
whatever,
Well, it becomes
or like the tetanus shot can help with tetanus or or whatever. You know.
not a cure. It just kind of
Yeah, it's supposed to
puts
prevent.
it off.
It's supposed to prevent it. It's supposed to
Okay.
keep you from either, well, not even keep you from getting it, but if you do get those, you already have the antibodies in you to where like your body already has defense mechanisms built up, kind of thing. Like with all vaccines, I guess, or most of them. I don't know. I think.
So, do you think we'll? I mean, how many years do we? Do you think we're just gonna hear COVID for the rest of our lives?
I think. I don't know. God, I hope not.
10 years?
10
5
years?
2
No.
years?
I think that people like me who like feel like they may take it more on the serious scale, like I'm already starting to tune out. Like, okay, we've
Yeah.
got the vaccines, people are getting vaccinated.
Yeah.
You know, it's time to. I mean, I'm getting to the point where I'm like, you know, I mean, I'm not saying like I was ready for time to move on like a year ago, like most reasonable people. Like, I don't want to deal with this or whatever. But like now, I'm like, we're getting
Yeah.
vaccinated. The numbers are going down. Like
Yeah.
by the same sources, when the numbers went up, by the same sources I read, now they're going down. So it's like, okay,
Yeah.
stuff's getting better. So
I remember in March when it first started, I was like, this will probably last August
Yeah.
at max.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh.
I think I was on the same page with you.
I was like, maybe a month or two, August at most, and then we'll be done.
Yeah.
God, it was like over a year now.
Yeah.
Jeez. I remember there was one episode too. It just really pisses me off. There was an episode where I don't think I know you weren't there, Noah, but I don't think Cole, you were there. We
Mhm.
talked about COVID right before it hit, and we talked about how it's not gonna be that big of a deal or something.
Oh wow.
And I wish I still had that.
Yeah.
It was me, Daniel, and Brandon, and we were all talking about it.
Yeah.
God, I wish. I had a bad habit of.
Did Daniel think it wasn't going to be a big deal?
No, Daniel was like, "This is gonna be a big deal."
I was about to say
He was
yeah.
kind
I
of
was-
like,
I think he
I
was.
don't think. I think
Yeah.
you're wrong. You know, I say a lot of stupid shit. You know,
Yeah.
I just keep talking.
That's what. Like, I don't want to say anything stupid about it. That's why I'm not. But
It's
I mean,
very
I think
serious and
that-
should be treated
Oh,
seriously.
absolutely.
Yes.
Like, because you know, I work with a ton of people. I've seen a lot of people who've had it. You know, hardly
Yeah.
anything, and I've seen a lot of people who've had it who were hospitalized. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's definitely serious on the individual.
Yes.
Like that's the thing.
Yeah, Amanda had it, and she
Yeah.
next to no symptoms. I mean, she lost her smell and taste, like they said, and
Yeah.
I had that, but I also had like 2 really bad nights, like
Right.
sweating, woke up at the bed like soaked and like high fever and stuff
Mhm.
like that. It's pretty bad.
Both of my parents caught it. My mom, she got the worst of it. Like she had chest pains and everything. You know, she didn't have to go to the hospital or anything. But
when was this for both of y'all?
I think this was maybe 3 months ago. It was right before. Yeah, because it was right before I got this tower job.
So January
So yeah, so it was.
2021.
We got it
It's
right before
probably
that. We got
February.
it in December of last year.
Really,
yeah,
I feel
December
like
last year.
I know a lot of people say this, but I feel like I got it in February of 2020. And the only reason why I say
Yeah.
that is because I flew on a plane to New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Then I came back, and I got very, very sick.
That's possible.
Very, very
sure.
sick.
You didn't get a test?
There were no tests.
Because even at that point,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
I mean,
Remember that was a big deal. There weren't tests to fucking do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You didn't know.
I could see it because you know now, like when we just got off the flight, like they have all these new standards, and
Yeah.
don't spoil us by saying like they don't do any of the stuff they say they do, because you would probably know. But they make it a big deal that they clean every inch of the thing, you know.
Okay, who are we
They
kidding
do.
here?
They
just,
do.
Okay.
They do. They actually do.
Okay,
They
but
do.
they didn't do it for you probably then because it wasn't that big of a deal. So I could see like
Well,
something.
hold on. Who
that-
did he fly with though?
Huh? I don't know. Who did you fly with? You know,
Who do I fly with?
like
Yeah.
when you went in February last
No,
year.
this was before. There was no procedures.
Oh,
for this shit.
yeah. He's saying this was before COVID.
This
yeah.
is before COVID.
Yeah, that's
even
what I'm
hit.
saying. So like they probably did, I could even
They didn't
see
do
it
anything.
even being like
Oh,
somebody got on
like
that flight
kinda-
and sat there and
oh.
Yeah,
coughed
yeah.
or something where
Oh,
you
definitely.
sat, and that's how you probably. I mean, may have got it. I'm just.
So
Oh,
even talking
definitely.
about
We were
just
all
like the
packed in there,
normal
buddy.
like cleaning of airplanes. Yeah, they probably did a. Yeah, they probably.
Well,
I mean,
did
they probably
awful.
cleaned it pretty well back then. But my point is,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
probably cleaning really intensely
Yeah,
that's
now.
now,
because of
but
COVID.
no, then no, they probably were
Hell
just dude,
no, bro.
They probably took
they
some
probably
paper
were just
towels.
picking up trash. Yeah, I mean,
we were just coughing all over the place.
Yeah,
You know, as you did back then.
yeah.
In the
right.
good old days.
You know, like the good old days. You cough without a open, mouth open, nothing covering your mouth.
It's kind of fun in a weird way because it's like I
It
feel
was
like
so
there's I feel
dangerous.
like there's been stuff that's happened in my life that's like been a big deal,
Mhm.
but this was a big deal. Like this
This
was
was
like
something
this
else,
was
yeah.
like a world
changed
transforming
a lot, yeah.
opinion shaping. I mean, this was huge. This is probably the biggest
Affected
thing that's
everyone.
happened.
Yeah, and I hate it.
I mean, it sucks. Yeah, I hate it too. I'm just saying, like,
No.
it's weird it's cool in a weird way because it's like I feel like sometimes you read about stuff from like the
Yeah.
like or something. You read in these history
don't
books, and you're like,
grasp
God,
it.
what a crazy time to be alive.
Well, it's funny too because when I came back and I got sick and it was February, I remember I went to work and I got everyone else there sick immediately. Everyone started. I was patient zero.
God.
I swear. Everyone started getting very sick,
Mhm.
and we thought it was like allergies or whatever.
Yeah.
And at a restaurant, I remember it was February. It was around like it was before Valentine's Day, and I remember my boss being like, "You guys, like, we can't call out. You know, we have to keep like I can't have
Yeah.
you all calling out. You have to come in."
Right.
And for restaurants, the status quo is if you're even sick, you can't call out.
Yeah.
You have to come in no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just weird to think of because now it's totally opposite. You feel bad, you ain't coming in.
Yeah, you're not coming in.
Yeah.
At all.
And it's
Yeah.
just funny to think of how the norm before, like 2 years ago, was
Yeah.
you just come in. It just
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
like
Who
no,
cares?
literally, they're like, if you have a headache, don't even come in.
Yeah.
You know. But I mean, it's funny because like I remember a lot of us at work, you know, at the airport, dude. So many people. We were all getting sick, like end of 2019. You know, going into 2020.
Yeah.
And I was telling somebody, like we all talked about it. Like me and my coworkers were like, dude, I have not felt that sick in like
Yes.
forever.
Oh,
And
wow.
but even like taking tests and everything, like I took the blood test when they all came out with everything
To see if you had,
said I
like, the
never-
antibodies
to
or
see if
whatever.
I had the antibodies. Never had it. I've been taking tests since, and I've
I
been
don't-
exposed to over like 22 people at work.
Yeah.
When my parents got it, you know, I've been exposed to all of them. Still negative.
I remember a
Forever.
coworker. She was like, "I don't feel so good. I
Mhm.
think I might go home." She was talking to me like, as far as we were, like 3 feet away,
Yeah.
no mask, anything, just saying it to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, you definitely should go home."
Right,
She
yeah.
went home and then she had COVID.
Wow. Nice.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll go get.
Yeah.
This was before testing too, so. It was
Mhm.
I remember one of the first ones in
Weird.
Georgia was at a Waffle House. Now that has anything to do with what we were just saying, but I just remember like thinking about that, and it was like somewhere in Kennesaw or something. I remember that it's like a big deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kennesaw. I think was the starting point. And I was like, "Oh fuck!"
It's here.
It was scary though,
It's here.
Yeah.
because I think
When you saw it spread to other places.
I think what the whole backdrop of it was that, like, take the Trump administration or any before that, where it's like it's us versus the media. You know what I mean? Like, you have to sort of take everything with a grain of salt, which I think you should. So when people are coming out and saying like there's this thing going on, and this whole time we've been conditioned to not, believe everything, don't
Yeah,
believe
it's like-
headlines,
it's like, yeah.
don't do this. It doesn't matter if it's right or left, if it's
Yeah.
Trump or not. Like, we're just being like, think things through. Don't
Yeah.
believe everything you read on the internet.
Be skeptical.
Skeptical.
You know?
Think
But
things
it's-
through logically. And
It's
it's
a double-edged sword. Yeah, skepticism. It really is because, man.
Well, every time I turn on the news, it's
Yeah.
like, "Ooh, you shouldn't do things like this, or you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that." And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, it's like something that actually matters,
Yeah.
like COVID happens,
Mhm.
and it's like, well, like you hype up everything else.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, how am I supposed to know this? Severity of anything?
You get kind of jaded a little bit.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So I think that was a part of the problem. And they told us not to wear masks because they were ineffective.
God, that's,
Never forget that.
Who are these people?
The government said masks don't do anything.
Right.
Like sometimes, like I think that like whatever. I believe in like germs and stuff. I believe like we can educate people about like germs and like
Yeah.
viruses and all this kind of stuff. But sometimes they say stuff and like when he came out like a few weeks ago, Fauci or something, and he was like just basically like he said it in a really horrible way where he was like, well, getting the vaccine doesn't mean stuff's going to get back to normal. Or, stuff could still be bad. You still have to wear masks. I'm like, dude, this is not the way to get people to get the vaccine and like,
Well, why should I take the vaccine?
I mean, like, maybe I could see, because, like, the way I watched it a few times, and I was like, he's just trying to say, like, okay, it's never going to be 100% back to normal, just like you were saying,
Yeah.
And maybe it never will be, but I'm like, we have to get back to some sense of normal, and you've got to be able to be like, okay, we can get back to some sense of normalcy, and the vaccine will help, if you're trying
Yeah.
to sell the vaccine to the average American, or any of the vaccines, whatever, And I was like, God, you sometimes. Just like with the no masks, when they were saying the no mask thing. There's so many little
now I
things
like-
that have happened
yeah.
across
so it's like,
the
do
way.
you want us to wear the mask or not? Like,
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing.
There's been so many things that have happened along the way where you're like this is why a lot of people don't believe,
I know, exactly.
officials or whoever. Like, you're just outright lying, saying that they don't
Everyone's
help.
like, well, now no one wears the mask. It's like, well, yeah, they told us not to.
I don't think we should. I don't know if we should leave. If we should have left the World Health Organization, I don't know if we still are. But like, them saying like we shouldn't be traveling. It's no big deal if we kept traveling to and from China. Like, and like the World Health Organization, like raking Trump over the coals about that. That was really annoying. I'll say that. Like them being like, oh, you don't have to stop travel to China. Like, I'm like, are you serious, dude? Like,
Yeah.
it's just like some small things that you're like, there's some really shady stuff going back behind the scenes sometimes with some of these people.
That's what's so.
That's why I hate all of them. I mean, honestly.
It's like
Screw it
politics
all.
fucking.
That's why I'm staying in
suck.
my one house for 56 years.
Yeah, that's why I'm going
Never
to stay in my
leave
one
it.
house for 56 years, never leave.
Yep.
Never get COVID.
You can live in whatever world you want.
Yeah, I don't got to worry
Honestly.
about COVID 20, 21, 22,
22.
all of that.
All right, let's get off of COVID.
Sounds good.
What brought us to that? What are you talking about?
It's always, dude. It always goes to COVID.
It
It
does.
always goes.
Because
We're gonna be 50 years old
Cruise
talking
ships.
about
like
it.
I
It
was
was
saying,
cruise
it's
ships,
going to
that's
be a
what was going
big
there.
seminal.
It was all Noah.
Big
He
thing.
wanted to talk about it.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Noah likes COVID. He said it.
He
I
said
like
it.
that
We
it's
heard
such
him.
a big event in history. That makes sense.
That
Can
we're
we get
living
that
in it.
Yeah.
soundbite real quick?
Yeah. I like the
I love it. I love diseases.
Let's see. What else do you want to talk
It's
about?
interesting though. I mean, it is.
You want to talk why you quit, Cole?
Sure.
So let's do a little backdrop here.
Yeah.
2018, Cole texts me. Actually, it's 2017. Cole texts me, hey, let's start a YouTube channel. I go out and buy a DSLR, and we start recording videos the whole year. June, I release the first video, and we release one for 40 weeks, 52 weeks. And then all of a sudden, Cole stops, and he
Mhm.
says, I don't want to do it anymore,
Yeah.
which is fair. So I just wanted to go and say, Heavily Spiced was just me and Cole from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually is the one that came up with the name, which I think is just an interesting fact.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
So why?
Did you like the name?
No, I didn't. I did that thing. Here's the. I remember this exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What name did you want though?
I didn't.
You didn't even have
I
one.
said, look, the name doesn't matter. I
Yeah.
said the content's really all that matters. The name doesn't matter. And we went to a thesaurus and we typed in spicy,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the synonyms that came up was heavily spiced.
Yeah.
And Cole's like, I like that one. We're just gonna stick with that. And I said, no. Why don't we just like look around for other things? He's like, no, because here's what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
You're gonna look around and try to find the better name, and
Yeah.
it's gonna take you like 2 or 3 weeks, or
Mhm.
maybe even a month, and then you'll just come right back around to it. He's like,
Yeah.
we're just gonna name it this, and that's it.
Yeah. And I was right.
He was exactly 100%
I was
correct.
right.
You got to keep the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Just
Exactly.
grab the name and keep.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
keep
I mean,
trucking.
look, let's get this out the way. And I think you brought it up. Like Jet is a perfectionist.
Yes.
Don't let him fool you. Like Jet's a perfectionist without a doubt. And I mean it's good. Like it's got him it's got him a long way.
Yeah,
I
I've
think-
learned. Here's the thing: like doing a YouTube channel, doing this has taught me a lot more about
Mm-hmm.
myself than anything,
Mhm.
and how I operate and how my brain functions. So we took an Enneagram test, and I was 3, which is achiever, and it's basically someone who likes to work and is really work driven, but sometimes that work driven is just too much, to the point where I just want things to be almost perfect. And I think I've touched on this before, where I envision everything going this correct way, and if it doesn't, then I trash it, which is what happened when we did the podcast early on. We did several of them, and I just trashed them because I felt like we could do better. I can do better. You know what I mean? And so I think one of the hardest lessons to learn was like doing the Enneagram too, was take a break. Like it's fine if you just relax and take a break. That's why I've been gone for like 2 weeks, is because I felt like I just needed time to myself. Working 40 hours a week at my job and then doing this on the side, it's just like you get
Yeah,
so
it's a
much in
lot.
your head.
It's
And
a
then I
lot.
felt like a lot with what you were saying, which was in the beginning of the days, I wasn't in front of the camera. I was behind the scenes editing. And Cole was the one in front of the camera. Cole was the one who's the main source of our content. And we always looked to him every single Monday to create something.
But for how long? How
That
long
was like a
exactly
year.
did we?
Because
Was that a year straight?
We made like about 52 videos
52 videos. So yeah, it was just a straight year.
every week. We went in
pumping
there.
content.
And man, dude.
I still beat Daniel. Me and Daniel only edited one video.
That
I
is
beat
true.
him.
I said, please, can you guys please help me edit these videos? And they
and
did.
I beat Daniel.
Daniel didn't do it. Not to trash talk him on his wedding day.
Yeah. But I mean, okay, so but you know, fast forward, it's 2019.
It was
Right.
2019 was our last video with a
2019
vlog.
was our last video. This is after the beach trip, right?
This is pre-beach.
This is pre-beach.
Yeah, the beach trip, PCB 2019.
But before the beach trip, we still were
we made a couple videos
Yeah.
and I deleted them
okay. Yeah,
because I was like, these are shit.
yeah, yeah. You said that about every video, though.
I hate. I start off loving them.
Yeah,
Here's the thing: is
so
you
great. I hate this. This is awful. Well, it's because
I
you watch
watched-
it like
I know I watched it like imagine
Million
watching
times.
2 hours of content of just this,
yeah.
editing it like 50 times over.
I
Stuff
could
would
imagine
start to
people
seem
who do
stale,
people
for
who
sure.
actually people
After
who
a
are
while.
editors for like films you know,
I can't
even
imagine.
like YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
Man, God bless him. God
Kudos
bless you,
to
man.
them.
Yeah, kudos to
'Cause
you.
fuck that shit.
It's
I mean, I
awful.
enjoy editing,
Yeah.
but I also hate it.
Yeah.
It's like my other job.
I mean, I think it's an art form for sure.
Even
Oh, yeah.
really good
Yeah.
quality stuff like, you know, big bucks movies. If you were just editing like specific scenes, it would just go over and over in here, and you're like, God, who's gonna really believe that? You
Yeah.
know, like
well, you get to the point where you're just like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like I'm critiquing things. Like if you're drawing something and you're just like putting in the time, and it's like no one really is gonna notice if I have this there. You know.
that's what you have to
You get in
tell
your head.
yourself when you probably get in your head and you're like, God, are they really gonna buy this, or is this really believable, or is this even a bad scene? You have to push that aside and be like, okay, they're not gonna have been out editing this for hours straight.
Well, the hardest thing was when I was doing it was only what things I thought were funny,
Mhm.
and so then I stopped thinking they were funny, and I was like, is this even funny anymore? I don't know. Like towards the last day, I was like, I don't even know if this is good.
I don't think there was ever a video though that you did edit that I was thinking, oh, I wish he would have, you know, done this or that. You know what I mean?
Oh man, I do that all the time. Though.
I
but
figured,
yeah,
but I don't
as a
think
viewer,
I'm trying to think back to like any videos that we ever did that I was like, oh, I really wish he would have put this in there.
yeah.
But I don't think I ever came
Yeah,
to
they were
you
saying no.
or any of that. Yeah.
No, I was never like that. Well, it kind of sucks too because I privated them all, so
Yeah.
now you can't see any of them.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, we
I love them.
came.
I
To,
still think they're great.
we came to that decision
Yeah.
now,
I
You,
still
me,
think they're.
and I think Vincent were like, should we just like kind of start over?
Yeah.
With just the podcast.
Yeah.
And we all kind of agreed. Yep.
Yeah.
So they're still there. They just you
Yeah.
just can't view
And I mean,
them.
you can
even
always.
subscribers can't view them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could just
They're privated.
unprivate
He can
them.
just unprivate them, but
They're still there with all
Yeah.
the comments and stuff, but
I think
be
eventually,
honest,
maybe. I mean, maybe unprivate them. Who knows? Maybe one day somebody will look at it and it ends up getting shared. And
that was the
Pops up
only
somewhere.
that's the only way you can kind of make it too.
Yeah.
Were
is to
those
do that.
like, you know,
Popular?
objectively more popular than what the podcast is doing? Like, did they have like in the views?
that's a
of
good
thousands
question,
or
actually.
anything?
Yeah. Oh, I'm not sure.
It's very strange how it works.
Yeah.
No, one of them, the highest one was still the first one. That's the first episode we did is still the highest viewed video because at 280 views.
But isn't that only because we had to re-release episode 2 because of the song in it?
Yeah, we
What,
got
that one
DMCA'd.
probably wouldn't that one have been the most viewed?
It would have, but
Yeah.
it got cut off. I used a copyrighted song in it,
Okay.
and then YouTube took it
Yeah.
down.
We got striked. We almost lost our jobs.
It's kind of interesting
It was
though.
scary.
Like,
Yeah.
I was so scared.
it's kind of fun in a weird way. Like how they even like notice that, and it's kind of fun.
It's just a robot,
yeah.
just a little bot. You can like pitch tune it down or slow it, or you could cover it, which is what we eventually ended up doing to just kind of work your way around it.
Gotcha.
But you know, it was like in the early days. You don't know till you do it.
Yeah.
And it really isn't that big of a deal. But it's depending on what they want to do. So, like, if a video were to have copyrighted music, they can choose what to do with that video. Like, some of them said, oh, you can use this. We don't care. Others said, we'll just take all the money. We'll monetize it. But no, what was the song? Like a Rock, I think?
Like a Rock, yeah. That Chevrolet song.
They literally said, nope, that video is
Like a
taken
rock.
down.
God, that's like
Motherfucker.
It's like it's kind of like built for tough. I don't think that's their slogan anymore. You know, I don't know if we're supposed to be throwing these slogans out or whatever. But
Yeah,
anyway,
well,
no free
I mean, we're
ad, no
gonna-
free
yeah.
ads.
but anyway,
Or
but
we'll get taken down.
some of
Yeah.
these things are so old. I forget about these old ads and their slogans and stuff.
That
They're
song
gonna
sucks ass. That's why we used it.
I
Plus,
love
Drew
that
was a
song.
rock. That was the whole fucking
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
The problem with the videos, though, I'm not gonna hark on this too much because people can't watch it, nor do they even really care.
Yeah.
The problem was that they're just too
They
long. They're just too long, and
Yeah.
I just
Wait,
didn't-
hold on. It was almost like somebody told you that they were too long for a long time.
not you.
I don't
Anyways,
know.
Cole, why did
Anyways,
you
so
just get
yeah,
tired of it?
let's go. Yeah, I mean, and I think clearly, like Jet could tell, I was getting burnt out even before. Like you said, our last video was it the week before the beach trip?
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks for the beach trip.
Yeah, I was already getting burnt out. Like, I mean, I was just
Cole brings a lot of
Yeah.
energy.
and I was just losing
A
energy
lot
over
of
time.
energy. But this is something
Part of
that
this has to do with me not being as healthy as I used to be, and work. I started working more and more. After the beach trip, I went full time, so I was working 40+ hours a week, and then
Oh yeah, I remember that. 'Cause you
yeah.
said this is my last hurrah. When we were
yeah
at the beach.
yeah. So the beach trip was and I know I specifically told you, and I had a little mental breakdown that beach trip.
Yeah, me too. I
Yeah,
think we all did.
Yeah.
Noah was there. He was only there for half of it. So we went on a beach trip, PCB, for 8 days.
It's a long
And
time.
it was all of us pretty much.
Mhm.
Me, Cole, Noah, Brandon, Sheridan, Vincent. Yeah, bunch of people. Bunch of fucking people went on this beach trip. And it was awful for me. I just felt bad.
Mhm.
I had just broken up with my girlfriend of like 2.5 years, 3 years, and I was very sad.
J-
And I definitely
yeah.
did not want to be there. And
Yeah.
I made it very apparent. When I get in a bad mood, I learned too from my Enneagram people. I have like the personality that people kind of like sometimes feed off of. So I feel like if I'm high energy, people can feed off of it. But if I'm like in a bad mood,
Mhm.
I like take everyone fucking down.
Yeah.
And I felt that way towards the whole trip.
Yeah, you're in a bad mood. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He-
you can definitely tell.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely was not in a good spot that week, which I'm kind of glad he was with us.
It was also bad
I don't
because
know.
me, and Amanda, and Daniel showed up at the end.
Yeah, at
If
the
we could
end.
go back and do it again, like if this trip happens again, but
Probably
we don't want to stay 8 days, then we're
Yeah.
going to come in the front when
in
you
the
guys are
front,
high energy.
when we're high energy.
Because by the end of the
Yeah.
week,
Oh, it was bad.
Even
for
Bro,
me.
we
with
were
that-
at each
even with-
other's throats.
even
Y'all
with-
saw it.
even without the the breakup, like I just want to be there at
yeah.
the front. Because by the end, it's like, oh, we've already ate there. We've already ate at that restaurant. We've already done the scooter thing. We've already rid the
Oh,
go-karts,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah.
And we're just like, okay, well, great.
Well,
I
we- yeah.
think.
It was bad. I think the testosterone in the room was just crazy.
Oh, it was great though. I loved it. We all were taking testosterone pills too.
Yeah, and we banned jerking off in there. I just wanted to say that.
Okay, this is a lot more than I had any idea was going on behind
Yeah.
the scenes of this
Oh
trip.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have told you all that because that was part of it, and it was
And
fantastic.
we had group showers
We
too.
had group showers.
All the boys got in
Yeah.
there. Group showers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I think one of
mean,
the biggest things is too. This is actually fun. So Daniel's wedding today, the woman
Hell
he
yeah.
married. This is the first time we met her too.
oh man.
Was at this beach trip, right?
Did she go? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She was at the
Went,
tail
yeah.
end.
And
like,
I
with
know
y'all.
we had to have scared the hell out of her because
what she came into was just something that was
she came into the room with who was it? Was
it
you
Sam.
and Sam?
It was me and Sam.
You
Sam
and
was
Sam literally
pissing me
fighting.
off.
Yeah,
like literally like just being a fucking dick.
yeah.
And I was just done. I was like, dude, this is it. And we just started going after it. And everyone's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And it was bad.
And I was
Like,
just trying to tell everybody, just let them fight it out. They're gonna get it out, Just let them get their energy out. It's okay. There's a lot of testosterone, Lots of testosterone in here.
it was a huge amount.
Oh,
and I
it was
remember
great.
Cole and Sam. Sam was an instigator towards this whole thing.
Yeah, Sam was pushing me because I could not stop laughing. I couldn't stop laughing at this, trying to give Jet some, what was it, ibuprofen? What was it?
Advil. Too. He said
Advil.
it'd heal my heart,
Just make me
my
feel,
broken heart.
It just make me feel so much better if you just took this.
Well, y'all went out on the balcony and started like
Yeah, I almost threw Sam off the balcony. Yeah, I
that
grabbed
lady
him
started
by
screaming. She's
I-
like, "Oh my god,
the yeah,
someone help!
yeah.
Help!"
I grabbed Sam by the neck and started holding him over the balcony,
Wow.
and some lady was.
I feel like missed literally physically.
that was
missed
just for
all
fun.
of this because we weren't
Yeah.
there,
It
or
was
like
just for fun. It
we
wasn't.
it kind of went over
Well,
my head. Some of
Yeah,
it.
my favorite part was.
I
that-
definitely remember you being in a bad mood
Yeah.
and Sam like egging you on a little bit.
Yeah.
a couple times.
And then of course both of now both of them their energy egging me on too. Cole, take us to Pier Park today.
we were.
Can you-
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was bad.
Oh, it was great.
Anyways, we're going back.
So
We are going back.
we are.
To
Yeah, oh
PCB.
no, without a doubt, we're doing another trip. I don't know if we're gonna do PCB or a cabin or something like that. We're gonna do another trip. I mean, it's gonna be a great time.
Yeah, it was fun. It was
The
it was
trip
just-
that we were on was a great time. Despite all the crazy stuff that happened, it was a blast. I had to take Tums all week because I was drinking from sun up to sundown.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not drinking at all.
I'm sitting here pouring Tums down my throat.
Speaking of drinks,
Yeah,
where's
where-
margaritas. We're supposed to get margaritas going.
Where's Brandon's
pizza.
wife? She has all of our money.
She left. All right. Anyways,
Skip town.
So this was my last hurrah, this beach trip, and I told Jed I probably
yeah.
won't have. I mean, the time I won't have the energy. Obviously, I was already losing the energy.
oh, the next beach trip will be your last hurrah? You think? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna die.
No, it's his revival.
It's my revival. Yeah.
It does feel like something kind of like, I guess, like a wedding and like a next step. It
Mhm.
felt like the end of something. It felt like the end of us doing the vlogs. It felt like the end of us actually hanging out. It felt like the end of
Yeah.
like all this free time. Because when you're young and you're in your 20s, you have all this time that you can just spend together and do all these things. And it just like, it felt like this was the end of all that, where it's just like,
We
okay,
did.
now we're just gonna be work oriented and
Yeah.
relationship
We
oriented.
felt that. We did.
I think we knew it.
Yeah, we
I
knew
think,
it. That was the whole like. It was weird.
I think we knew that.
Yeah.
Like it felt like the end of the
Yeah.
beginning of something and the end of something.
It
I
felt
mean,
like
sort of. I mean, you're exiting a relationship though.
Yeah. So
it
that's
felt
what.
like another breakup. Like that's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Like
I guess so.
honestly,
But my point is like
Because-
it's a transition for you to almost more free time and more able to hang out with people or whatever because you didn't have the relationship and stuff, right?
Yeah, but I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I think I'm at PCB hanging out with my friends, and I just didn't even want that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, fuck this.
I remember
I'm just
most
gonna
of us would go to
this.
the beach and him and Sam would go do something else like a lot.
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Sam also got what's called Hell's Itch the very first day of
Oh
PCB.
my god, yeah, that was a whole nother thing.
Yeah, he couldn't even sleep.
It was cursed. The trip was, oh man, I still love it, but it was cursed.
One of
It was
those
good,
years there
man,
was like
Juju.
some algae or something that made it really rough to even get in the water down
Yeah.
there. I don't know if that was this trip or not. Red tide or something.
I mean,
don't
Sam
know.
had sun poisoning like first day.
Yes.
He
Oh,
just
wow.
Day one.
did he not put sunscreen on? Like what was it?
I think he said you didn't put it on because you're supposed to put it on him or something. I don't know.
That was your job.
Okay, if I can put it on once, but you got to put it on more, especially like with his complexion.
He's very pale.
So
It's his fault, but also kind of your fault.
it's also my fault. I should have
Pretty-
been more of a
mostly
dad.
yours.
I
Mostly.
should have been more of a dad. I should have been.
Yep.
I'm a failure of a parent when it comes to parenting you all.
You
I
are
mean,
the
it's no
oldest,
doubt.
right?
Yeah.
Do you ever feel that way around us?
Yeah.
I don't feel that way anymore. At the beginning, I did.
I don't so much anymore. I feel like everybody's like really grown up. I remember like when we all were first hanging out, I kind of
In
felt
like
more.
2012,
Yeah. I felt motherly towards you guys.
and now we've
Yeah.
blossomed.
Yeah.
It's
So
crazy.
you're proud of us?
Oh, without a doubt.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's all
Look
I
what
ever
you've
wanted.
created.
Yeah.
Heavily spiced.
Uh-huh. Hey man, who knows? I mean, it might return one day.
It's all up in the air. None of this matters. I
Yeah.
think that's the most fun about it
It's
is
all
that there's no rules to it.
Yeah, there's
You
no
can kind of just do
rules.
whatever
Yeah,
to it.
Exactly.
I think, if we wanted to go back to doing vlogs, we could do vlogs.
Mm-hmm.
If we want to make a cooking show, we could do a cooking show. If we want to keep doing podcasts, we can do podcasts.
Yeah.
None of it matters.
It's one of the best things about our generation, just growing up these times. Like you just have access to so much like just homemade content with YouTube and like podcasts
Yeah.
and stuff like that, And it's not just like TV shows are fine, movies are great, but you know what I mean? Like getting
Yeah.
small, not even small budget, like no budget, just whatever, you
Yeah.
know. I love it. I love
Well,
all that
you
kind of
know,
stuff.
and that's why I think we started doing Heavily Spiced was because everything feels so manufactured. You look at people like Emma Chamberlain or David Dobrik or these top YouTubers, I guess. I don't know. These vlog people,
Yeah.
when we were first starting, they were like the top dogs or
Yeah.
whatever.
And
You
I
look at-
hated him.
We did hate them. We did hate them. We just look at these top people, and it just feels so like, I don't know, so manufactured, so like run of the mill. It just doesn't appeal to me. When I first got into YouTube, it was more like DIY. Like
Yeah.
anybody could do it. If you had a camera
Mm-hmm.
and you had the energy and you had like the fucking spunk, you could just fucking make it on it.
Yeah.
And that's what we were.
I thought it was more relatable, if anything. I mean, I know we had our we had our bits, obviously, like everything. And for the people who didn't know that they were bits,
Yeah, some of the jokes. This is a problem too that I have just in general.
yeah,
Is that people don't know when I'm sort of like
serious or
joking.
yeah.
They don't get the humor that I'm going for
Yeah.
sometimes, so it just goes over their head. And that was the problem with the vlogs.
Yeah, exactly. But I thought it would be more relatable, right? Because like we're not driving around in Lambos, we're not written,
Yeah. We're
these
not
giant
rich.
excavators to like twirl people around over a lake.
None of this was created
Yeah.
from like some company or someone funding us money. We literally built it ourselves.
Mhm.
And our goal is to do it ourselves how we want it to be done and not dictated by what someone thinks gonna make it in the fucking algorithm, because fuck that. Because I thought about it and I'm like, if we ever like made it to like 1 million subscribers, who even fucking cares? What does that matter? You know what I mean? Do you want to be Joe Rogan or something? Maybe.
I mean, do you? You're the one who's running it.
Jamie, bring that up.
Jamie? I guess it'd be cool, but I think, it's it's about doing it and enjoying it for that.
Something about the way you just described that makes me want to see how far back I can go in his show, like first few episodes, and see if it feels different. You know, like if it
Oh, I
feels
bet it
more
does.
genuine or
Question,
something.
yeah.
Maybe. I mean, genuine's such a arbitrary term, and doesn't really mean it. But I mean, I feel like it would definitely be more low budget, if nothing else, for
Yeah.
sure. If you go way back, like years ago.
And at what point did it just stop losing its charm?
Right.
Yeah, and maybe it didn't. I mean, I still watch it every now and then. I don't know. It's not bad.
It's not bad. I guess I shouldn't throw him under the bus.
I was about to
'cause
say.
he seems
That's probably the.
that's our
I
leader.
mean, it's still like top rated podcast, right?
That's good. It's a good show.
Yeah.
But I just think if that's what I'm striving for,
Yeah.
then I'm doing it all for the wrong reasons.
I think that's exactly right because the basis of Heavily Spiced was to be ourselves, to do it ourselves. That's the biggest thing. You know, even like joking around like, oh, but the first time a company comes by, we're selling out. I mean, that was, we joke around.
We're
joke around,
sellouts.
but
I'm not going to deny it.
But I mean, at the same time, having a real talk about it's like, no, like I would always just want to. This is just our thing,
Yep.
And that's why, just like you said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if any of this ever took off or not. Like even the vlogs, I mean, it was just fun for us to do. We're hanging out anyway.
Yep.
Why not just do some stupid stuff?
Why not
too.
film it?
Yeah, film it.
And that's where that's
Mhm.
where we're going to go towards too. And that's where I
Yeah.
keep my focus at.
Podcast.
That's why I took a break, because I was like, I'm too focused on trying to like get views or get this or get that. And I'm not
Grow.
even fucking enjoying it. It just
Yeah.
seems so shitty to me.
Yeah, that's what you have to ask yourself.
Mhm.
Like what your goal is. If you're just
Yeah.
doing it to have fun and stuff like that, whether it's the podcast or like a kind of more of a show feel, I guess, of Heavily Spiced or whatever, just hanging out and just doing stuff. Like if you're just in it for the enjoyment, then yeah, it's okay. If you're doing it for the clicks, maybe not even for the money, but just for the attention even, like
Yeah.
for me, like when I think of like top YouTubers and stuff, you got to be like selling something. Like not
Yeah.
selling sounds cheesy, but like you've got to show me how to do something, like how to fix something, or like give me content I want to hear about current events, or like a topic that I may be interested in, kind of thing. But if you don't care about generating views and stuff, you're just trying to hang out, then maybe you'll get big, with just. But you don't even care about that, so it's no big deal,
Mhm.
I mean, I guess secretly you kind of want it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you feel some sort of validation.
And I'm only one person.
But-
Like some of these people, like I think, like I don't know if the Dobrik guy's a good example, but I know I've come across YouTubers.
Not
I'll,
currently.
I'll watch some of their like videos and stuff, and I'm like, why do people watch this?
Mm.
He's just going to the grocery store or something,
Yeah.
And half the video is him telling people to subscribe, and the other half is him just going to the grocery store. And you're
Yeah.
like, but so I mean, clearly there's a market, I guess, for people just doing stuff or hanging out. I don't know. It's just not for me, but I'm just one person.
Yep. Well, I think it's a good place to end it, honestly. We went for an hour, so I think that's good stuff. I don't know where the fuck our pizza or margaritas are.
Did we really go for an hour?
Yes, it's been an hour 8.
Holy moly!
It
Wow.
flies, doesn't it? Anything else y'all want to say?
Oh,
It's been
I was
a pleasure.
happy to be here.
Absolutely.
I still love Jet with all my heart. He's gonna be a brother of
been a
mine for life.
Pleasure joining
So
you guys.
if anybody ever had any doubts why I wasn't on the podcast or Heavily Spiced,
This is what it is,
Yeah.
baby. Me and Cole. And Noah, it was a pleasure too, man.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm here in Georgia getting to hang out with you guys. Congrats to Daniel and Allison.
Oh yeah,
for their
congratulations, Daniel.
wedding, and congrats to me, hopefully, for getting some tacos in my stomach soon.
Yeah.
God, where
and
the
some
hell are
margaritas
they?
and-
Dude, I've been wanting to do this so bad. Like, you have no idea. I love watching the podcast. I really do. Like, I watched the conspiracy one, the one about with you and somebody talking about like soul and like
Lindsay.
and and the one with all the guys, talking about crypto and all
seeing
that.
all the guys together was really.
Yeah.
I love that one. Too,
And the one
man.
about politics of the two brothers, and then
Oh, yeah.
the one about music. I don't even know about a lot of these things, but I love watching them, dude.
Good.
Thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, most definitely. Always a room for my boys, the Spice Gang. All right, it's here.
Oh, they're actually they've probably been here.
We'll end it like we did the first one.
Oh my gosh, yeah, what a throwback.
A bite into the ending shot.
Gotta love that.
All right, thank y'all. I love you.